10 greatest signature moves in NBA history. So these are players' signature moves. Before we get into it, guys,
make sure you smash the subscribe and follow button and hype up this video.
NBA players often develop a go-to move, something that gives them an advantage and that's hard to defend. Some moves, however, are more recognizable than others because they look different. They're super effective. Players use them often. With great apologies to George Gervin, who just missed the cut with his finger roll, we chose these top 10 signature moves in basketball history.
Bats,
Kareem,
you've what? Okay, we just spoiled one, but what signature moves do you think is worthy enough to be on this list, whether it's current or old? Do you have any?
Jordan flying.
Jordan just doing Air Jordan stuff.
Yeah, that's a signature move.
Yeah, I agree.
What do you think?
LeBron's tomahawk dunk.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe Luka's fadeaway. This guy bangs his fadeaway shot so much that he spams it. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's on there.
Yeah, he looks good when he does his fadeaway.
Yeah, very sick.
Abdul-Jabbar, skyhook. You're the tallest person on the court with the longest wingspan, and you can release the ball from your hand at the highest point. You get a shot that can hardly ever be blocked. Many have tried, and many have failed. Only Wilt Chamberlain managed to block it.
I was just going to say that.
But Kareem's skyhook was largely unguardable. There was just no point in trying to stop it. You could only try to stand as close to the guy and hope he misses. And he didn't miss much. Kareem's skyhook was so effective that it earned the unofficial title of the most unguardable move in NBA history.
That's
and the numbers back it up.
Clever,
because Kareem has scored more points in the NBA than anyone ever, and the vast majority of them came via his patented signature move.
Kareem
says he developed the shot because he often played with older competition as a kid, and that was the only shot he could shoot that didn't get smashed back in his face. Once he grew the way he did, it was over. When great skills meet excellent physical tools, that's when you get dominance. And that's precisely what Kareem did, on all levels. He was the most dominant high school and college player ever, winning 4 high school state championships and 3 NCAA titles with UCLA. To that, he added 6 NBA rings, along with 6 MVPs. That's quite a resume, and the skyhook is the main reason for it.
What's mad is Kareem's in a lot of our videos, just in general, because he's such a legend.
I don't think we reacted to him.
Spot on. Took the words out of my mouth. We haven't done a video specifically on Kareem. He's a legend. I don't know why we haven't. We've done Wilt Chamberlain who played at a similar time, so he's definitely...
Maybe that's something to consider for this week.
Yeah, I'll do a video on him, 100%.
Yeah.
Hakeem Olajuwon, Dream Shake.
Hakeem
Olajuwon is one of the best players of his generation and one of the greatest centers of all time. He was extremely nimble and graceful with his movement, and was the only center that could continuously pull off the moves that were usually reserved for guards. Crossovers and pull-up jumpers were regularly on the menu in Olajuwon's basketball kitchen, but it was one move that he perfected and made famous that was deadliest of all: the Dream Shake. Dream Shake consists of pivoting to one side and then quickly counter-pivoting to the other to shake off your opponent and have a free look at the basket.
He must have destroyed so many people especially with his movement. They're saying he's agile and quick for his size. He must have destroyed people.
Oh yeah, definitely.
However, that's easier said than done, and nobody did it like Hakeem, aka the Dream. Yes, the move was so good that his creator got nicknamed after it. Hakeem is known to hold basketball camps which teaches the Dream Shake and other post moves to current players, most notably LeBron James and Dwight Howard. Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, the fadeaway.
Oh, they got the fadeaway.
Just like Kareem used his height and length to create an unstoppable move, Michael used his unmatched leaping ability and superb footwork to create one of his own. The move was the fadeaway, and it drove defenders crazy and led them to
What, Jordan created the fadeaway shot? No way. I don't know. Guys, is that the case? Did he actually create the fadeaway? Or was the fadeaway always there and he just mastered it and made it his own? Let me know, because I thought that was there
that's what I thought as well.
Forever, basically.
Fair. It was hard to guard Michael anyway, but just when a defender thought he had done a great job and cut all of his lanes, Jordan would simply jump backwards to create space and shoot after the defender fell down. And when your nickname is Air Jordan, that would happen every single time. While Jordan was tormenting the entire league, there was another 6'6" shooting guard who watched him and tried to make his technique
Kobe.
as flawless as Jordan's. Kobe Bryant was often called the second coming of Michael Jordan because of the obvious similarities between them. They played the same position, had similar size and killer mentality, and their moves, including the fadeaway, were almost identical.
Jordan
Looks
was
of
the
despair of
blueprint.
their opponents were pretty similar too. Black Tornado. Shaquille
Huh?
O'Neal.
Oh, Black
But the question is,
Tornado.
who's the most dominant brute force?
That is a name and a half. The Black Tornado.
So does he spin around?
Probably like a mad dunk or
Because
something.
tornado spins around, no?
Yeah, maybe. Let's find out.
Yeah.
Ever stepped on the NBA court? There could only be one answer. The Diesel, Superman, the Big Aristotle. Okay, those are several names, but they are all nicknames of one man, Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq came to the NBA weighing less than 300 pounds and was successful even then. But in his prime, he was around 350 of pure
Oh my
muscle
God.
and vicious force that would dunk
He's a
anything
giant.
thrown his way. But there were other heavy centers in the league who weren't even effective, let alone dominant. What set Shaq apart was his agility and quickness. And in his prime, he was the best player in
For
the league.
big guys,
Shaq's
yeah.
favorite
well,
move was
yeah.
to post up and lean on a defender with all his mass. And then, as the defender was using all his strength and focus just to stay in place,
Ah.
Shaq would
Tornado
spin
attack!
off of him and dunk the ball.
So he'll kind of like spin off the player. So that makes sense as to
Yeah.
the tornado.
Makes
That's a sick
total
name.
sense.
He named this move the Black Tornado.
That's a
I love
sick
He
that.
could
one.
spin around so fast
Yo,
with great power. and
love
was
it.
Deadly for the opponents. Shaq was a skilled post player. And as we said before, great skill and great physical gifts equaled domination. And Shaq was arguably the most dominant player ever. Eurostep. Manu Ginobili.
Oh, I heard you lot talking
Some
about this in
basketball
the chat.
moves already exist.
Euro
Yet certain
step.
players make them famous. That was the case with Manu Ginobili and the Eurostep. Eurostep was a move frequently used in, you guessed it, Europe, mainly
Huh.
in former Yugoslavia.
Makes
it was
sense.
first seen in the NBA in the early 90s, when one of the first European newcomers, Lithuanian Šarūnas Marčiulionis, started using it. When Manu came from Europe in the early 2000s, he dazzled with his flair, no-look passes, and deceptive athleticism. But it was the Eurostep that took the league by storm,
How do you
because
do
Manu
it?
would burn defender after defender by simply stepping around them and make one uncontested layup after another. That's when the move got dubbed the Eurostep, even though Ginobili only played in Europe.
So it's just a step in the other direction, basically. And then he'll follow up with a layup.
Was from Argentina. After Manu, there have been many successful Eurostep practitioners and aficionados in the
It
NBA,
works, why
with
not?
James
Yeah.
Harden and Giannis Antetokounmpo
Damn.
at the forefront.
Giannis, it makes sense because he's,
From Europe.
yeah.
Harden was like, well, this works. Let me just implement it.
I'm
to
just
my
going to
game.
do it anyway.
Yeah.
Crossover. Tim Hardaway and Allen Iverson. Crossover is a
Crossover's
move that every
dirty.
guard in the world uses. From the first time
One
they
of my
start playing
favorites.
organized basketball, it's a fundamental move, yet so effective. And that's why every young player wants to have it in their arsenal. And even though everyone has a crossover, the move is usually tied up to two people whose crossovers were so deadly that it became their signature move. Tim Hardaway and Allen Iverson. Despite the move was the same, these two players have done it differently. Hardaway's was tighter, and he went into the move more quickly than Iverson. Iverson, on the other hand, made his crossover wider. He had a long wingspan, and he would move the ball from one stretched arm to the other to lull the defender, which is
Nice.
best seen on the famous Jordan crossover. Despite the differences in styles, results were usually the same,
Oh.
with defenders stuck, or even worse, with broken ankles. Single-legged fadeaway. Dirk Nowitzki.
Oh,
Dirk. Which, then again, he did. Was it Luka that got. Oh, yeah, Dirk was for the Mavs, then he passed the crown down to Luka.
Yeah.
So I guess it kind of makes sense that Luka also mastered the fadeaway. And why is his hand on his ass? What a way to pause the video.
Single-legged fadeaway was unstoppable, especially in his prime.
Hey, yo.
Dirk is a 7-footer and one of the best shooters in NBA history. However, he was also one of the least athletic players, and he wouldn't be as effective if he hadn't trained with Holger Geschwindner, a German coach who trained him throughout his career and who taught him his signature move. Because he lacked athleticism, he couldn't jump backward and shoot a fadeaway like Kobe and MJ did. Instead, Dirk simply leaned away and used his height to shoot over the defender, with his pivot leg serving for balance and the separation he needed to
His
take
one's
the
a bit
shot off.
different.
Yeah.
That signature move single-handedly, or single-leggedly if you will, helped Dirk to become one of the best scorers in the history of the game,
One-legged.
with over 30,000 points.
Oh my
Unlike
God.
some other
Wow.
players on this list who just made standard moves famous, single-legged fadeaway was never seen before Dirk, and never successfully replicated after it, which makes it even more unique. Deep 3. Steph
Oh,
Curry.
of course. Yeah, Curry mastered the deep three. He literally changed the game, and then obviously Klay Thompson as well, and the
Yeah.
Splash Brothers. So yeah, that this one makes sense.
Steph Curry, along with his splash brother Klay Thompson, changed the game of basketball forever.
Yeah, they
Before
did.
them, it was widely considered that jump shooting teams couldn't win championships, with Charles Barkley as a spiritual leader of that school of thought. But then Steph Curry and the Warriors won the title in 2015, with Steph and Klay averaging more than 15
My God,
attempts
what a
from
shot.
deep combined. Steph in particular was an unsolvable mystery for opposing defenses, because he would often attempt and make deep threes from 30 feet or more, well behind the three-point line. His long-range shooting prowess forced defenses to pick him up as soon as he passed half court, and his constant movement created more space for the rest of the team.
So
It was the
problematic.
birth of the pace and space era in the NBA, and it all started with Steph and his signature shots from deep. Bank shot. Tim Duncan.
Oh,
Because on the Wii, the bank shot never
bank
works.
shot. I've never
I
heard
thought
of
this was
that.
an ad.
We turn it and get a Wii fund.
Have you ever heard of the bank shot?
No.
Yeah, same.
Just like Kevin James scientifically explained, Tim Duncan was the master of the bank shot.
Bank
Duncan
shot.
was one of the NBA's most quiet and unassuming superstars. He was nicknamed the Big Fundamental because he did everything fundamentally sound, and he wouldn't do and say anything too flashy. While the bank shot was rarely used by anyone else, Tim Duncan perfected it because it provided an extra angle he could use when the defender had a hand in his face, trying to block Timmy from shooting straight to the basket. So, Duncan just shot slightly to the left or right and used the glass to bounce the ball to the hoop. The shot
Okay.
itself isn't sexy. It's not that cool and often looks awkward, which was the essence of Tim Duncan himself, and that's what made it a perfect match.
Damn.
Step back. James Harden.
Okay.
He saved the most
yeah.
Makes
controversial
sense.
move on the list for last. James Harden's step back caused a lot of stir in the NBA circles when the Beards started using it frequently. How is that not a travel, everyone asked themselves. James Harden made a career of exploiting the rules and pushing the boundaries of basketball trickery. When he
You know
drives to
what?
the basket, he
Harden does get a lot of heat for like pushing the rules, but at the end of the day, if he's not breaking the rules, I get he's like borderline, but that's what makes him even more talented, if anything, because that's very hard to do, to
Yeah.
get to that point where you're not breaking the rules, but you're basically walking on thin ice, but it works.
I mean, to be honest, he's getting away with it. So it shows that he is able to manipulate his game.
And if it's a problem, the NBA will implement something to rule change.
Yeah.
Which I
And he
believe they
would've-
did for one of his things.
Yeah, and they would have told him as well, like, you can't do that. But he's not been told that, so.
They'll change the rules if it's
Yeah.
become an issue.
entangles his arms with the defenders to draw a foul. He flails, baits, and throws his body to make and-one opportunities. And he created one of the most unguardable moves in modern basketball, the step back.
I
Harden's
love that.
step
So
back
clean.
Looks like he stepped back twice.
So
According to
clean.
the rule book, it's not a travel because he catches the ball after the first step back. So the second step is legal. It's incredibly tough to pull off, but Harden can
He's
do it
mastered it.
consistently and create separation from a defender anytime he wants. You may not like it, but you have to accept James's brilliance. His scoring numbers
Damn,
speak for
that's
themselves
clever.
anyway.
That's very clever. So it looks like people will think it's a travel, but it's not. Because like you said, he caught the ball just
Yeah,
before. and
you have to
then-
see it very carefully.
Yeah, and that if you haven't practiced that, you'll struggle to do it.
Yeah.